Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Give me another mic. Test one mic and give it to me.
Jai.
Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. I welcome Lord Sri Krishna on the 4th day of the Sri Krishna Janmashtami celebrations held here in Durban, South Africa and around the world simultaneously. And I welcome his entourage that took part in the Mahabharat when they were all here together 5,000 years ago. So I explained yesterday that the Supreme Lord teaches through stories. And today I want to elaborate that behind every story there's a science to be decoded. There is a science to be decoded behind every story. So the story is enacted by the Supreme Lord together with his pure devotees and the Devis and Devatas. Those devotees that take part in the various stories like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata are not from the material universes. They come from Vaikunth, and after the story they go back to Vaikunth or any other universe. Right now there will be the Ramayana taking place in one of the universes, and there will be the Mahabharata taking place in another one of the universes. There are millions, an infinite amount of universes floating in the material atmosphere. And every universe serves a purpose, and there's living entities in every universe. So, gurus decode the science behind the stories, and pandits and purohits give you stories. So when you have a katha and jhanda, then pandits and purohits give you the Ram Leela and a whole lot of stories from the Vedas, and others they make up here and there to suit the amount of money you spend in. if you pay them a lot of money. And these Purohits, they know your background. Yes, the Pandits know your background. So to appease your background together with the money you give them, you get a nice katha, don't you? Whilst he's looking at his watch for the next katha. Yes? You all know these Purohits and Pandits. So they are here to keep you trapped in the material universes. The Pandits and the Purohits, through various rituals and kathas and chandas and no garas, they make you tie strings around trees and walk around trees 7 or 9 Saturdays. Is all a waste of time. Nobody found God walking around a tree. Nobody found God in a katha or chanda. Nobody found God in all these rituals that have taken place. Nobody found God through kavadi. Nobody found God through firework. Because God never instruct anybody to find God in those places. Like every country, but I look at South Africa, there is a hierarchy, is there not? There's a state president, there's a deputy state president, there are ministers, there are premiers, there are mayors, and there are councillors. All of them have designated positions to work within a mandate. Can a premier go and do the job of a minister? Can a ward councillor go do the job of a mayor? If that happens, if a ward councillor go in the mayor's office, will he will he have the ability to give you results that a mayor can give you or a designated mayor can give you? Ashmika, if you go to your ward councillor, can he cut your rates down? You have to go through the mayor. So similarly, Sanatan Dharmis, for whatever reason, have made their own Vedas. Only the Muslims follow one Quran. Only the Christians follow one Bible. But the Sanatan Dharmis have made their own Vedas, coming from their tradition and culture. So it is a job of a guru to dispel all these traditions that you are following, but the guru's job is not to do that from Maharaj's prayer goods. You'll know Maharaj's prayer goods all over Durban. They have books, not from their books. Those books the Purohits and the Pandits carry. The guru's job is to give you direction from the Supreme Lord Himself. The man or the personality that created this universe, the guru's job is to give you directions that he gave when he created this universe. So if you want to find what the guru says, you must find it where God has spoken. And this is a very, very significant week because the Supreme Lord awarded humanity with the Bhagavad Gita. If you are a Sanatan Dharmi, you must follow the Bhagavad Gita. If you are a Sanatan Dharmi and if you do not follow the Bhagavad Gita, then you are Mama, a fake and impersonator of Sanatan Dharma. Yes? If you're a Muslim and you do not follow the Quran, then aren't you an impersonator of Islam? So if you're a Sanatan Dharmi and you say, I follow what my parents taught me, then you're a fake Sanatan Dharmi. So you will find that this ashram won't have a lot of devotees at any given time, Yajvan, because the Guru tell people the truth. So I'm going to give you an example. When I started many years ago, we're going to be 10 years this year, I had a satsang in Phoenix. And they came a family of about 15 to 18 people. And that's a lot for any guru. One family, 18 people walked in. And before satsang, one of the leaders of the family said, Guru, I want to ask you a question. I said, yes, but you can ask me the question after satsang. So after satsang, he came to me and he said, is sacrificing goats part of Sanatan Dharma? And I knew why he asked me the question, and I knew I'll never see him again if I give him the right answer, and I won't see the 17 other people that came with him. What do you think I did? I told him the truth, and I never saw him and his 17 other people ever again. Because my job is not to see how many of you follow me. My job is to tell you the truth as it is. And I've been continuously telling the truth. And I said this in a segment yesterday. I said I'm a very poor guru. And the reason I'm a very poor guru, and I used Avir as an example. And I said, Avir Bhai, if I told him, Avir Bhai, drinking is allowed in Sanatan Dharma, meat eating is allowed in Sanatan Dharma, smoking is allowed in Sanatan Dharma, every month he would have given me 1,000 rand donation because he would have been happy. He would have been telling his family this is a top guru, and he would have brought his friends into the ashram from the municipality. Half the municipality would have been here. But because the guru told him the truth, I see a few hundred rands here and there in plants and roses. Because I told him the truth. And similarly, you'll notice if you go on social media, there's thousands of gurus with thousands of followers, because those gurus tell you, do what you are doing, no problem, just do some yoga exercises and you'll find God, or just do some meditation and you'll find God. This guru will tell you, you can meditate till the cows come home, you'll never find God. You can do yoga till the cows come home, you'll never find God. How this guru can tell you that? How can this guru tell you that? You can meditate and meditate and meditate. God will never ever reach you. You can do all the yoga positions in the world. You'll never meet God. How can I make that declaration? How can I make that declaration? Avir Bhai? No, because God never said, meditate, you'll reach me. In no scripture has God said, meditate and you'll reach me. In no scripture has God said, do yoga and you'll meet me. And the main scripture, the summary for Sanatan Dharmis, is the Bhagavad Gita, and there's only 700 verses there. How many? 700 verses. And I've explained to all the men in this satsang, every man in this satsang, how easy 700 verses. You experience more than 700 verses every morning when your wife gets up. Which man can deny that? Which man in this universe can deny that before leaving to work, no matter how late you are, your wife's Mahabharata is more than 700 verses? And I've never met a man. And most men that stick around in this satsang is because this is the truth. And they like this truth about their wife. They had no guts to say it. Now when the Guru is saying it, they're saying this is a top Guru. I heard when I said this, together when I said that if the wife applies mouth brakes in Maritzburg, the brakes only hold on sometimes in Durban. And when I said these two things, I think it was in the Sipingo Goshala, I saw men hitting fives after satsang. They said, hey, this Guru is a outie. Alright? So 700 verses from the Bhagavad Gita is absolutely nothing to hear. Nothing to hear. God trained you with an expert wife. God gave you training to hear from your wife, Avir Bhai. How trained you are in hearing. Okay? 700 verses. Ashmika, your mom is laughing. 700 verses is absolutely nothing from the Bhagavad Gita. So I have some enemies who are Pandits and Purohits, because once the Guru explains the truth about the illusion created by Pandits and Purohits, then they get upset with the Guru. Why? When Katha and Jhanda stops, their 2000 Rand stops. And I want to explain now about the Katha and Jhanda. I want to explain the story about the Katha and Jhanda. Now, who can I use an example that won't get offended? Avir Bhai, you and Ashmika? It's fine. Okay. So you having a Katha at home on a Sunday. How long you planned it? Mommy, you can join in. How long you all planned it? Mama? 1 year. 1 year. How many connections you invited? 1 year you invited all your connections, and the day has arrived. Ashmika and Avir is sitting there with the Pandit. Mama and Mami is sitting there. We're having two kathas now. Alright, two families. And what Ashmika and Mami is thinking? Pandit is giving it, tied one ring with the grass. Did you ask him, why did you tie this grass ring? Then he threw water in your palm and said, drink it 3 times. Did you ask the Pandit why he threw water on your palm and you drank it 3 times? Avir, why you used to drink it with a polystyrene cup, now they're giving you water in your palm. Mama too, that's why I chose you and Mama. Mama refused to take initiation 2 years in a row. This year was a forced initiation. Then he caught me outside. He said, Guruji, I'll be taking initiation tomorrow, but is there any way you can extend it for another year? Because of the Mama, rotten meat. Because of the rotten meat, Mama decided to give it another year. Alright? So Ashmika is thinking, hey, this Mosi never come. That Mosi never come. Mami is thinking, my sister never come. My brother never come. I'll show them in their Katha and Chanda. And what happened? The whole prayer was finished and we did Arti. What we did? Arti. How can you connect to God in that circumstances? How can you connect to God in that circumstances? Let's be honest. Let all of us in this satsang be honest today. How many of us from start to finish in a Katha and Janda complied fully with mind, body and soul? How many of us? How many of us know what happened on that day? It was just a Katha and Chanda and family gathering. And Ashmika told Avir later, you see that person who didn't come? I'll never go there, don't force me. Yes, all these things happen in Katha and Jandas? Yes or no? It happens. So tell me, in this environment, how can you connect to the Supreme Lord? You heard the Ram Leela, you heard the Sat Narayan Katha, but what you really heard, what you really assimilated, it was just a show. Yes or no? Who won? Who was the biggest benefactor in this whole thing? Pandit. And he knew you not concentrating. That's why he can give you some truths, some half-truths, and some lies. Yes? And you'll see he's watching his time. You must film every Katha and Janda. You'll see a Pandit or a Purohit is watching his time. Because his mind is already on the next 2 grands. Or 2.5. Yes? We have to be honest. We have to find out why we cannot connect to the Supreme Lord. So I give everyone a tester. Ashmika, your family is here for the first time. And there's 2 for the first time. Tonight when you go home, you'll sleep like a baby. You'll sleep like a baby because I touched your soul. If you want, Yajwan? Yes, Yajwan is a baby too. Alright? The job of a guru, only the soul can connect to the Supreme Lord. Because the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Soul, and that soul lodged into your body has been asleep. When you came to the satsang, through this transcendental knowledge, I told your soul, hey, wake up. I told your soul, hey, wake up. You understand? So when you go home today, the test will be, you'll sleep like a baby. No matter what problem is in your head, you will sleep like a baby. Okay? So this is the reason you need to go to satsang. And satsang is a Vedic injunction. What does satsang mean? Sat means truth. Sangha means a group of pious people. So you come as a group of pious people to listen to this truth. Do you listen to the Guru's truth? Do you come here to listen to the Guru's truth, Mama? No. You must come here to listen to the Supreme Lord's truth. So I'm going to give you a few truths from the Bhagavad Gita. Pat and Bobby, did you all cook enough food? This can be a very long session. They might eat twice. We'll stop the first round at 4, then we'll eat, and the second round, Ashmika, you brought mom and dad in the wrong. The second round will stop at 8. And let's see who's brave enough to walk out on Lord Sri Krishna. There's he seated there in so many forms. Let us see. Alright? Ashmika, you can tell mom, I'll give her 5 minutes. She can WhatsApp all the people that she's supposed to be in contact with up until 8 o'clock and say, I am detained in Ashmika's ashram. My daughter brought me in a trap. Okay? So I'm just going to read, not too quickly. I rush in the weekdays. Today I'm the boss, even to my other devotees. On weekdays I rush through. Page 58 of the Bhagavad Gita of Lord Sri Ramanuj. I'm giving you secrets from the Bhagavad Gita. Please, those of you that have capacity to download, go to Bhagavad Gita or Gita Bhasya of Lord Sri Ramanuj on Google. You're going to find this discourse transcribed on my page. Then find those verses and go and make yourself familiar with these verses. These verses that I took out today are the very secrets that can make you spiritually prosperous and materially prosperous. Okay? I stated that the Bhagavad Gita itself is the personification of the Guru-disciple relationship. This book, the Bhagavad Gita, is the personification of the Guru-disciple relationship. Bhagavad Gita of Sri Ramanuja, chapter 2, verse 7. And this is Arjuna. He says, would my heart stricken by fault of weak compassion, comma, would my mind perplexed about my duty, comma, I request to say for certain what is good for me, full stop. I am your disciple, full stop. Teach me who have taken refuge in you. So how many of you know the background to this verse? Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna is on the battlefield at Kurukshetra. Arjuna has now to fight with his family and his teachers and his friends. Arjuna is on one side and his family is on the other side. And he got perplexed in this situation and he realized he was in a quandary. How many of us are not in this quandary of Arjuna at this moment in life? How many of us are not in this quandary? How many of us are not perplexed? And how many of us do not know what to do? Aren't we all? Aren't we all placed in a situation whereby we are perplexed, we have circumstances, we have situations, and we do not know what to do? And the Lord is setting the tone. The Supreme Lord is setting the tone in the Bhagavad Gita. He is stating that when you are in this dark place in life, when you are perplexed, when everything is choking your life, when you can't breathe, the Lord is giving you a way out. What did Arjuna state when he was choking, when he was perplexed, when he had no way out? What did Arjuna do? What did he tell the Lord? He said, I give up. I give up. I cannot find solutions on my own. I surrender to you, O Lord. I am now your disciple. What Arjuna states? I am now your disciple. Which means that now I'm going to, what does disciple mean? From which word that disciple come in? Disciple comes from the word discipline. And Arjuna is saying that now I'm going to discipline myself to your instructions. When you become a disciple, you discipline yourself to the instructions of the Supreme Lord via the transparent medium of the Guru. Your eyes at this point in time cannot see the Lord. And many of you, I can count, a good number of you have always been saying, seeing is believing. How many of you, Ashmika, have stated this in your life? Seeing is believing. If seeing is believing, last week India had no reason to send Chandrayaan on the moon because Ashmika would have been able to see the moon. Ashmika, you say seeing is believing. Why must all these countries send space stations and rockets and spacecraft to the moon to see the moon? Why you can't see it, Ashmika? So that seeing is believing is a false notion. Then we also have microbes. What are microbes? Small living organism. All right? Don't go too far, Mama. Rub your eyes like this and look. Put your finger in the mouth, rub your teeth and look. Look in between your nails. There's living organism, thousands. How many? So you can't say I am You hear a lot of people, I'm very independent. You're not independent. There's millions of organisms living in you, Prini. Millions. You have a family. But can you see it? You can't see it. If you can't see it, can you say seeing is believing? If you can't see from here to the moon, and you can't see the germs in your own body, how can you see God with this eyes? How can you see the Supreme Lord with the eyes that you can't see? Because God is not material. You cannot see material things with your eyes. That is too small or too large. How can you see a spiritual entity? And it is for that reason the Supreme Lord has created the Guru system. You can see the Lord through the transcendental knowledge of the Guru. The Guru can describe to you who the Lord is, and through the Guru, you can have some idea about the Lord. Yes? Yes? When you went to school, did you know mathematics? Could you see mathematics? But you put your faith and confidence in your teacher, and your teacher slowly but clearly showed you how 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Similarly, in the spiritual world, God created the Guru system to show you spiritually how through 1 plus 1 you can see the Supreme Lord. All of you understand? You understand? You have to see the Lord through His system that He has created. You cannot create your own system and see the Lord. Okay? Like yesterday I found a video and I told Sean, please buy me as many lime as possible and rough salt and cloves. Mommy? Limes, big limes, rough salt, cloves and vinegar. And he said, Dad, what you want to do now? I said, no. If you cut the lime in half and you put rough salt in it and you put vinegar in it and you put cloves in it, mosquitoes will never trouble me in the room. Mosquitoes will never trouble me in the room. And that's there in the Vedas. But what have our Pandits and priests and temple people, I forgot about the temple people, what have they done with the lime? What have they done with the lime, Avirba? You understand? It's only, you saw me come in with the clove, with the camphor in. Now, big flames, you saw me come in with the camphor. That is to sanitize the air. I did Aarti. I respected the deities, but the science behind coming with the camphor is to sanitize this air, because how many of us are breathing in this small room? That is why you have camphor. To sanitize the, but what your temple people are telling you? That is why you have clove. You have clove to chase away insects. You have the lime where you put the clove in to chase away the insects and purify and sanitize the atmosphere. But when you go to temples to me, what they say? Come with 6 limes, 1 block of camphor, 50 grams of clove. Then they light the clove, Prini. They say, what's your problem, Prini? And they put 2 cloves and they light the clove, and 1 clove jump on Prini's lap. See? Problem solved. You understand? So this is how far Sanatan Dharma has gone off the
tracks. And this is why people make a joke. The Western world makes a big joke out of Sanatan Dharma, yet Sanatan Dharma is the real science that governs and rules this entire universe. But we don't want to learn the science behind what we do. We don't want to learn the science behind what we do. We want the story. We want the story form. Guru is here, and Guru can fix anything. See, I'm saying this on live social media. Guru can fix anything. Now you take your live social media, go to these temples where they want monkey balls and all of that, and tell them to make that declaration. But our mind is the Indian mind. The Sanatan Dharmi mind has been injected with somebody did it. And baby did it. He's saying it's not funny. Anything go wrong in your life, somebody is jealous, they did it. They did it to my son because he was so prosperous. They were so jealous of him, they did it. All the time, the son did it himself. He went himself to the bottle store. He bought the alcohol with his own money. He got drunk somewhere. Fix that up. Nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. Forget that he did it, she did it story. Just come to the Guru. The Guru will undo it. Doesn't matter who did it. No monkey balls, no lime, no camphor, no clothes. Guru will fix everything. Alright? So the next verse, you all understood this verse? That if you want your problems to dissipate in life, if you are in a quandary, if you are in a perplexed situation, tell God, I am now your disciple. God has come in many forms because everybody can't have him in that one form. So if you like his Ram incarnation, if you like his Krishna incarnation, if you like his Vishnu form, if you like his Narayan form, you can accept him in all these forms. Or if you, at this point in time, you are with Lord Shiva, you can accept him in the Shiva form. If you are with Mother Durga or Mother Kali, up until the time the Guru takes you and shows you the absolute form. That is why in this ashram, this is a Sri Vaishnavite ashram. Nowhere in the world beside this ashram and my Guruji's ashram in India, Sri Siddhartha ashram, you will find all the deities. In other ashrams, they do not keep all the other deities. The reason I'm keeping it here is because when you enter here, you already belong to some system. And I'm making you feel comfortable in whichever system you belong to, up until the time I teach you and take you to another level spiritually. So the Durga devotees will feel happy that Mother Durga is here. Is Mother Durga real or not real? Why shouldn't she be here? You understand? It's just that we are worshipping her for the wrong reasons. But she is absolute. Her existence is absolute and she need to be here. You understand? So whichever, if you like Ganesha, we have Lord Ganesha here. Whichever form you feel comfortable with the Lord, we have that form here because everything is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Page 74, verse 20. So I said first you must become a disciple. And these are secrets I'm giving you on how to connect with the Supreme Lord. First, you have to put your hands up and say, I give up. I give up. I become your disciple. You handle through the Guru whatever problems I have. Then next, Lord Sri Krishna is stating, the soul is never born, semicolon, it never dies, semicolon, having come into being once, comma, it never ceases to be, full stop. Unborn, eternal, abiding and primeval, comma, it is not slain when the body is slain. So this verse must give you confidence and remove the fear of death and remove every fear in life. You should have no fear. You should have absolutely no fear because you was never born and you'll never die. If you was never born and if you will never die, it means you are eternal. If you are eternal, what should you fear? What should you fear? Are you understanding? So first you become a disciple, then you come to an understanding that whatever is happening to me now is very, very small. If I am eternal, eternality cannot be measured. Can it be measured? Can it be measured? If it cannot be measured, and whatever problems or situation you have in life that can be measured, you think the Supreme Lord, who himself cannot be measured, cannot remove that affliction in you that can be measured. All of you understand? So this is the next secret, page 77. Page 77, chapter 2, verse 23. Weapons do not cleave it, comma, fire does not burn it, comma, waters do not wet it, comma, and the wind does not dry it. And 24, it cannot be cleft, it cannot be burnt, it cannot be wetted, and it cannot be dried. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, immovable, and primal. That's what you are. That's what you are. If a gun shoots you, the body dies. Only the body dies. If you drown, only the body dies. If you get burnt, only the body dies. That's who you are. Nothing can touch you. You are untouchable. If fire cannot kill you, water cannot drown you, the atom bomb cannot destroy you, aren't you invincible? Aren't you invincible? Then what is the reason to be depressed? What is the reason to be afraid? What is the reason to have fear? You understand? Page 314. You see the Guru is jumping from page 77 to 314. Mama, Guru jumping or this is a jumping Guru? Still time, Mama, still time. Okay, and this is a very important verse. Might be sensitive to some, but as I said, the Guru is here to tell you the absolute truth. And the truth is not coming from the Guru. This is not the Guru's truth. This is Lord Sri Krishna's truth. And in chapter 9, verse 2, the Lord says, "Whoever offers me with true devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit or some water, I accept this offering made with devotion by him who is of pure heart." So I'm going to read it again. Again, this is another secret of the Lord. "Whoever offers me with true devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit or some water, I accept this offering made with devotion by him who is of pure heart." Okay? Lord never say, "Prini, bring me 1 kg chops, 1 chicken, some prawns, a bottle of whiskey." You heard anything of that in this verse? What you heard the Lord say? Fruit, leaf, flower, water. Fruit, leaf, flower, water. No sheep, no goats, no chicken. You heard, Mama? This is another secret, 318, page 318. And many of us, especially me, when I went for my very first satsang of my Guruji in 2008, I considered myself the most sinful human being on this earth. I considered myself the most sinful human being on earth. I come from the military. I left the military in 1993. It is 2003. How many years have passed on? How many? No mathematician here? 30. Some people I gave kanpatis is still sounding in their eardrums now, after 30 years. Can you believe how sinful I was? Can you believe how sinful I was? If it is still sounding after 30 years. So we feel when we come and get introduced to the divine plane, then all the wrongs we did in life, we start contemplating. And sometimes we believe we shouldn't be here. Sometimes we believe we shouldn't be here. Amita, you got that guilty look in your eyes? And you're supposed to be a doctor with so much of guilt. I won't be coming to your surgery. Okay? So, let's hear, contrary to what we believe we have done and how filthy we think we have become, let's hear what the Lord has to say. Chapter 9, verse 30. "If even the most sinful man worships me with undivided devotion, he must be regarded as holy, for he has rightly revolved." And see where I am sitting today? Where I am sitting today? Is this verse true or not true? Those of you can go and investigate my background. I took Sherwin to see our Swat Square. Sherwin is my small son. When he was 13 years old, he said, "Dad, I only heard about you. I need evidence." So I took him to Dana, what floor? 7th floor? 7th floor. How thick my file was, boy? How big my file was? Pat? My file was so big. How sinful you think I was? My file of sin was so big. Assault, GBH, attempted murder. Big like this. I had so many disciplinary hearings. I had so many court cases. And all those things were filled in my file. I wish, Dana, there's a way I can get my file and keep it here with the Vedas. When new devotees come, I can show them how sinful I was. I was so sinful that my guru, although he was 1 year late, he had left his material body 1 year. When I went for my first satsang in Westville, I saw him seated there. I didn't know at that point in time that he was non-existent in a material body. And when he looked at me with those, look at his beautiful brown eyes there, I had to duck. I had so much to hide, Prini. But look what this verse is saying. Look at what this verse is saying. I'm going to read it again. If even the most sinful man worships me with undivided devotion, he must be regarded as holy, for he has rightly resolved. And you see me sitting here on the Vyasasana. You can only sit here after being purified by the Supreme Lord. You can't sit here otherwise. You can only sit here after being purified by the Supreme Lord Himself. Okay? Page 319. Verse 31. Quickly he becomes righteous and obtains everlasting peace. Affirm on my behalf, O Arjuna, my devotee never perishes. Hear this verse, everyone. I'm going to read it again. Quickly he becomes righteous and obtains everlasting peace. Affirm on my behalf, O Arjuna, my devotee never perishes. Can you see what a strong statement the Supreme Lord is making? No matter how sinful you are or you have been, the minute you accept the Supreme Lord, you attain everlasting peace. And I give everyone, whoever comes to this ashram, I give everyone a guarantee that whatever your situation is will be dissolved and you'll become peaceful. And you'll become, how can I give that guarantee? What do I have in my hand to give that guarantee? I have this verse. I have this verse. Otherwise, I can ask Lord Sri Krishna to remove this verse from the Bhagavad Gita. If somebody comes to this ashram and devotes themselves fully to Lord Sri Krishna, and if that person does not get everlasting peace, then it is my job as a guru, because I represent him. I have to ask him to delete verse 31 from chapter 9. But see how great the Lord is. See how great the Lord is. Whilst he is talking, who is talking? The Supreme Lord. But he says, affirm on my behalf, O Arjuna, my devotee never perishes. Who does he ask to affirm? He doesn't affirm it himself. Who does he ask to affirm? He asks his devotee Arjuna to affirm. He asks his devotee Arjuna to affirm. Why? Why? Because the Supreme Lord can change his word to suit the devotee. That is why he does not affirm himself. The Supreme Lord can change his word to suit his devotee. But when his devotee affirms, the Supreme Lord makes his devotee's word come absolutely true. Are you understand? The Lord can change his word, but if his devotee gives you a guarantee, Prini, if the Lord's devotee gives you, Prini, a guarantee, the Lord will make sure the devotee's word is never changed. And I'm going to conclude with the last verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. But before I go there, these 3 berries is from Vrindavan, India. When I was on my pilgrimage, lot of mystical things happened. Lot of miracles happened. I was the first foreign guru ever in this 5,000 years to go to India and perform miracles on live social media. It has never happened in the past 5,000 years. And as I was walking down a road with my 2 devotees, one has left the ashram and one is still here, Vasan. Those of you know him as Vasan. You can take him aside and he'll confirm the story I'm giving you. There was a caretaker of this tree. This is the Krishna tree. This is the actual tree where Lord Sri Krishna played 5,000 years ago. His footprints are on the bark of this tree. This tree is 5,000 years old. Lord Sri Krishna's footprints is on this tree. And I think the pot, somebody, Vishwadar, if he can send my photographs and video on this discourse, you will see there was a pot there, that pot in which he was eating his butter from, and there was a hollow in the tree where he used to go and hide from his mum. So this priest or this caretaker of the tree gave me these 3 berries, and I was there in 2017. It is 6 years, and these berries still exist. These berries still exist. So Hemita, you can keep it back. When you're doing your arti, those of you that are interested, you may touch that berries on the box, because that berries, that tree has Lord Sri Krishna's 100% consciousness in it. So I'm just going to read the last verse. Mama is very hungry. Okay, I'm going to read 2 verses quickly. Srimad Bhagavatam, Book 2, Canto 11, Chapter 14, Text 16. And this is Lord Sri Krishna speaking in the Uddhava Gita. There's another Gita called the Uddhava Gita. This is Lord Sri Krishna speaking in the Uddhava Gita, and he says, "With the dust of my devotees' lotus feet, I desire to purify the material worlds, which are situated within me. Full stop. Thus, I always follow the footsteps of my pure devotees, who are free from all personal desire, wrapped in thought of my pastimes, peaceful, without any feelings of enmity and of equal disposition everywhere." Now this is a big verse. What is this verse saying, Amita? That the Supreme Lord Himself, wherever the Guru walks, he takes that blessings from the Guru's feet and purifies the consciousness of the material world. How big this verse is? How big this verse is? Is the Guru saying this? Is the Guru saying this? The Supreme Lord is saying this. That is why whoever has touched this Guru's feet in the past 10 years, medical science has no explanation. Medical science has no explanation. Medical science is mind boggled and perplexed. And that is a verdict, injunction. And the last verse, Avir Bhai, I know you, these discourses, these satsangs, you come in fear, not knowing when you'll get attacked. And as soon as we do Aarti, he runs out to do his Havan after Aarti, thanking all the Devis and Devatas. I didn't get so badly hurt in this satsang. And he got his Havan Kund there on the left hand side, near the Goshala. Lakshmi and Saraswati watching. So the last verse I'm going to read for you. The Lord is saying, "My dear Uddhava, the unalloyed devotional service rendered to me by my devotees bring me under their control." Full stop. I cannot be thus controlled by those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity or renunciation. So I explained to you right at the beginning, Purohits, all types of worship, all types of rituals have no connection with the Supreme Lord. Did I explain when I started the satsang? But he gives himself up under the control of the Guru. The Supreme Lord, Lord Sri Krishna, gives himself up under the control of the Guru. Now this is the second time I'm reading from two different books, yes? This is the second time Lord Sri Krishna is saying, I give myself only to the Guru. Not to philosophy, not to Sankhya philosophy, not to traditions, not to Purohits, not to temples. I don't give myself anywhere else but to the Guru. Now when the Guru has earned the Lord, when the Guru has earned the Lord, does the Guru desire anything in the world? Then for whose purposes does the Guru use the Lord? For whose purposes? Will the Lord ever defy the Guru? Prini? I brought you to satsang for you to understand the concept. Will the Lord ever defy the instruction of a guru? But you have to have full faith in the system. Your data is faith in the system, and the guru can download the God app for you. The guru can download the God app for you. And when you got God in your app, what you need, Prini? What you need? If you got God in your app, you don't even have to trade that phone in for a new phone. Automatically it will keep changing to the latest version. Can't God change to the latest version? You don't have to trade your car. Automatically your car will keep. And if you want a Porsche, one morning you get up, your old car is now a Porsche. But you have to have the God app on your phone, and the data for that app is the Guru. All of you understand. So there is no mysticism about the Guru. There is no miracles about the Guru. Don't go and tell your friends and family, hey, we got a top Guru. Tell your friends and family, God is tops. Tell your friend and family, God is tops. Through the Guru, He can do anything for me. Through the Guru, He can do anything for me. Your only requirement is faith. Don't worry whether you drink. Don't worry whether you smoke. Don't worry about any of your habits. Those will fall off on its own. You just have faith, like I had faith. When I went to India in 2013, I was told to relinquish the material world. I was 51 years old. I was about to hit it big time. I had the biggest contract of my lifetime. I had a 200 million rand contract with WK Construction. I left it like a hot cake when I was given this mission, because I had faith in my Guru. I had faith in my Guru. My life is not perfect. Mataji's life is not perfect. My 2 children's life is not perfect. We all suffering the material vestiges. But our faith in our Guru is 100 million %. We don't question Guruji. Mataji and I have never questioned Guruji. We never met him. He had left his body 1 year before. But I had faith only in a photograph. In a small photograph like this, my Guru took away my alcohol. My Guru took away my meat eating. My Guru took everything away. And very quickly I want to tell you, I should eat meat 7 days a week. Chops. Chops chutney was my favorite, with the thin layer of fat in the back and all the Gouda bones. All the Gouda bones. I'm telling you, I should love it. From the time I know myself, I loved meat. I used to smoke 100 cigarettes, consulate. 100 cigarettes is 5 packets a day. I had 1 packet in this pocket, 1 packet in this pocket, 1 packet in my cubby, 1 packet in a wardrobe. Nothing could go short, which means 1 carton every 2 days. And then I just told you about my kanpatis, after 30 years still sounding. So you can imagine from where my Guru found me and how quickly he sanitized me. Because this ashram, the Sri Narayan Dham, is the only ashram on the African continent with this potency. Only ashram on the African continent with this potency. And the reason I'm going deep, whenever I get new people, I like to give you a background so you did not waste your petrol to come to this satsang. When you go home, forget about the Guru. There's another verse here I'm going to read tomorrow or the next day. Forget about the Guru. Forget how much meat the Guru ate. Forget how much whiskey, brandy, Smirnoff. Avir, Smirnoff 1818. Pat in our time had no smell. Had no smell. You can drink half bottle, go stand on parade. And there's a white station commander, I was a policeman in the apartheid, should come and inspect the parade. Smirnoff 1818 and Wilson Triple X. Combination, no smell. Alright? And the station commander went past, parade was over, Guru fell down. Guru fell down. Alright? But look, if a miserable soul like myself, if a sinful soul like myself can sit today and be a representative of the Supreme Lord, why can't you take this seriously? Why can't you take this seriously? You understand? The Guru had to play many roles to attract you. Somebody will like the Guru because he used to smoke. Smokers will like the Guru because he used to smoke 100 cigarettes a day. Meat eaters will like the Guru because Guru ate meat 7 days a week. And those, Avir likes the Guru because the Guru used to, he had also had a polystyrene cup. And if I did not play all these roles, if I was just a Guru, it would be difficult for me to synthesize with you and you and you in this world. We are not from India, we are in the Western world. We only dressed Eastern. Our mind is Western. Everything we do is Western. So I prolonged this discourse, and I'm giving you a guarantee again that whatever you need from this ashram, I can provide. Because who is my Uber? I'll never take, Dad has an Uber. I will make sure I go to all authorities and get his license, Uber license revoked. What Dad did to me on Friday, I'll never forget. I still have nightmares, and I'm a Guru. So Dad can never have a Uber. Oh, Granddad can never have a Uber. Alright? Okay? So the Guru got God for you. Anytime you need God, God is around. All you have to do is make a small sacrifice. Your small sacrifice is to be regular at satsang. This whole week we have in satsang. Until Thursday, 7 p.m. Make that extra effort. Have more on your balance sheet than you need. Have more than you need, because whilst I was consuming alcohol, whilst I was in cigarettes, whilst I was given kanpatis, I was a humanitarian. I did a whole lot of humanitarian work all my life. So my balance sheet in relation to those things, God could give me this position. You understand? So you too, when you going to sleep tomorrow, think, hey, God is at the ashram. I've always been looking for God. Jump in your car, Prini, and come and meet God. Although you won't meet Him face to face, but your balance sheet with God. And then when you're in a problem, you say, Guru, I'm in a problem now. I came for 100 satsangs. You can even mark your satsang. What can you do for me? So I take your 100 satsangs and I tell the Supreme Lord that Prini came for 100 satsang, she's in a problem, go now and sort her problem, otherwise I'll close my ashram down. Can I say that, Prini? Because that is a Vedic injunction. All of you all understand how this works? First you come for something, then start building your attendance. And that's all God wants. Look at how cheap and simple everything is. Leave home, come to satsang, have a good meal and go back home. What was the only expense? Petrol. And what you've been doing? Monkey balls, cloves, camphor, thousands of kathas and jandas, running and walking on the fire, going round and round and round trees. And look here. Here is a guarantee. I'm giving you this guarantee on live social media. You can take me up on it if you follow what I'm asking you to do. Jai Shriman Narayan.